All right. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty fascinating. Bold prayer. You've brought some really interesting material on it, and, well, I'm eager to explore what exactly that means.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a phrase you hear a lot, but I think, defining what it actually looks like in practice, that's where it gets really, really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So maybe we can start there. Like, when we say bold prayer, what are we even talking about? Is it like praying really loudly, or?
No, it's not about volume, or trying to like force God's hand or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the sources you've given, they point more towards this idea of confidence, like approaching God with real honesty and a deep trust that he's going to respond, however that looks.
That's interesting. So it's more about an attitude, an internal thing, than any specific action.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, think about, have you ever had to ask someone for a big favor, like something really important, and you just knew, you had this deep down confidence that you were in the right, and that even if they said no, it was okay to ask.
Yeah, totally. Like that feeling of, okay, this is important enough that I'm going to put myself out there.
Yeah. Exactly. It's that same energy, but directed towards God. And it's pretty amazing, the idea that we can approach our Creator with that kind of boldness.
Absolutely. And, speaking of boldness, you pointed out some verses of James 1.68, John 14.13, and Psalm 144 that talk about this idea of boldness in prayer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those verses are like key because they give us this biblical basis for approaching God in this way.
Right. So what's the core message you're seeing in those verses?
Well, James 1.68, it really lays it out there. Ask boldly, believingly, without a second thought. That's like the heart of it right there, this unwavering faith. Then you've got John 14.13 talking about asking anything in Jesus' name, and it will be done, emphasizing the authority we have through our relationship with Christ. Yeah. And then Psalm 144, it encourages us to be bold in our requests and to really trust God's actions and timing.
Wow, okay. Yeah, they all seem to really emphasize that trust element. And I'm struck by that phrase from James, without a second thought. That sounds, I don't know, almost impossible sometimes.
Right. Yeah, it definitely takes work. Like, it's not about pretending we don't have doubts or that everything's perfect, but it's about choosing to come to God honestly, even with those doubts.
Right. Laying it all out there.
Exactly. Like, our sources even suggest that sometimes those doubts, like wrestling with those, that can actually deepen our faith.
That makes sense. It's like we're not trying to put on a show of perfect faith for God. We're just invited to be real,
Totally. Yeah. And that's actually, you mentioned Nehemiah and Jesus in your notes here. They're perfect examples of that kind of real, raw faith.
Oh, yeah. Great examples. Nehemiah rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. And of course, Jesus, whose entire ministry was filled with bold prayers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Nehemiah's prayer for Jerusalem, it's so powerful. He confesses his people's sins, boldly asks for resources and protection, and despite all the challenges, they actually rebuild the walls.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then you have Jesus constantly praying with authority and confidence, healing people, calming storms, even raising the dead. Like, his prayers were bold proclamations of faith that moved mountains.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And what's really hitting me is, these were both humans. Like, they faced real challenges, real doubts, but they brought that boldness to God, and they saw, like, incredible results.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
It makes me think about our own lives. Like, what walls are we facing? What impossible situations can we be praying into if we had that kind of boldness?
That's such a powerful question. And I think that's really, that brings us to the heart of it all. How does this idea of bold prayer apply to us today? Like right now?
Yeah.
Like if someone's listening and they're maybe feeling hesitant in their prayer life, what would you say to them?
Well, I think I would ask them, what areas of your life could really benefit from more confident, faith-filled prayer? Like, what dreams or burdens are you maybe holding back from God?
Right.
And what if we dare to ask for the impossible, trusting that God can do like immeasurably more than we can even imagine?
That's pretty challenging. Like, it really pushes us out of our comfort zone. Makes me wonder, like, if you could pray for anything at all with that absolute confidence, knowing it was in line with God's will, what would it be?
Whoa. That's the question, isn't it? I think it takes deep reflection and a willingness to really listen for God's guidance and that trust that his plans are so much bigger than our own. Yeah. It's like we're being invited to not just pray boldly, but to live boldly, knowing that God is going to meet us in those those daring prayers.
Exactly. And who knows what amazing things might happen when we step into that kind of faith.
That's a great place to leave it. Thanks for joining us today for this deep dive, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for having me.